Chris. My name is Chalice, a real movie junkie. How are you doing today?
Nice to meet you, Shelby. Yeah, your posters are awesome.
Thank you. This is a very special interview for me. I actually met you at Comic-Con not fandom, IGN party.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, right.
And part of my career, there's two people I always say like kind of like inspired what I do, and that's you and Jake Hamilton. He's another
Okay.
journalist. I know everyone knows him too.
Yeah,
He's
is that Jake's takes?
yes, with the
Yes,
hair.
yes.
So thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. This is awesome. It's a full circle moment for me.
Oh, thank you. So it's really my pleasure. Thank you.
So I want to start off with my favorite thing about the film. I don't get scared very often, but this movie actually had me turning down the volume because I was I was scared that I was gonna be jump scared. But I love how the film strays away from being so predictable with jump scares. And it's no secret you have a very extensive film background. So was there any thriller or horror cliche that you were trying to stray away from when it came to filming this project?
I think a big thing we talked about was in the sound design. And I'm glad that you specifically mentioned that because we spent a few weeks looking at the sound in every way very carefully to try to craft, not just in the sound effects, but in the score, a mix that did feel like it was unique in some way. In the atmosphere of the ambience of whether or not you hear crickets in the forest or you don't hear crickets. Do we have room tone in the prison or do we take the room tone out of it?
Mhm.
Like things that make the audience feel like something's off,
Right.
and that was always the goal was like, this feels like something's getting under my skin, you know?
Yeah, that's the silences were not, they didn't drag to the point where it was like, okay, something's coming here. They were extremely unpredictable. The length of the silences was just, that was my favorite thing about it, was actually not knowing if you're going to be scared. So
Thank
that's good to know that that was intentional. So with this being your directorial debut, of course, this is not going to be the last from you. So I want to know, this is a personal thing. I want to know if in each of your films you plan on putting like an Easter egg, the way at the end of all your videos, it's like get Stuckmanized.
you. There's quite a bit in this one that there's things that I'm excited for people to find on the Blu-ray because there's like little moments. There's a scene where a character watches a tape, and there's a fair amount of glitches that occur in that tape. And in those frames, I included some fun things for people to find later on. There's a lot of things that are in the background of some scenes in this movie that you might not notice on first viewing, but hopefully will on second, or maybe somebody online will notice and you'll be like, wait, that was there. Oh my God. And you go back. So my thing is, I've always viewed film as it's not a one and done thing for me. I love being able to watch a movie more than once and learn something new on the second or third viewing. And films that allow me to films that feel like a complete emotional experience on first viewing, but then on second viewing, you're like, oh my God, there was this whole other thing that I'm now experiencing. I feel like that's maybe one of my favorite feelings in cinema is like that notion of like I just learned something new about a movie I like. And it's a great feeling. And so yes, I would love the idea of like in other movies that I make having a fun little thing here and there that can show up or whatever. I do have like a brief like voice role in this movie for
Oh,
literally
cool.
for like 5 seconds. I'm completely off screen for like 5 seconds. And maybe I'll do something like that on all of them because I don't consider myself an actor. Like, especially having now worked with really great actors, I know what it takes. I do not have it. And so, like, but it would be fun to be like, show up as a bartender or,
Yeah.
some
Stan
random.
Lee, like a Stan Lee thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that about the watching it over and over. My favorite movie of all time is The Departed.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
I every time I watch that movie, I find out something new or something I didn't notice. And I have no tattoos, but a couple of the first ones I want to get is I lost my dad, so I want one for my dad. I want a planes, trains, and automobile one, and I want the citizens where it's like it says citizens and he scratched it out and wrote it properly. And that was something in The Departed that I hadn't paid attention to when he finds that envelope. So that is cool that that is something that stood out to you where every time you watch the film, it's different. I'm excited to see this one again because now I'm intentionally going to be looking out for these things that you mentioned. But because you are a film critic, I want to ask, what was the biggest change for you going from reviewing movies and the aspect of where you were before filming to now going on a press tour, like seeing people review your film? Like what was the biggest change for you?
Um, I think it's just kind of something that I've wanted forever. I've wanted to make a movie, to make movies professionally since I was 14, and finally getting the chance to do it. This is, yes, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, it's like I was just in Spain. I came back from Spain from Sitges Film Festival to Ohio for a day, hung out with my kids for one day, and now I'm in New York and I'm talking to you.
Wow.
And it's really insane. It's like sleep is like this privilege now. Like, oh, tonight I'm gonna sleep. What an amazing thing. I do feel like it's kind of a grind, this part, but it's also a lot of fun to meet people like you and to talk to people who love movies as much as I do. That's the whole reason I started my YouTube channel was I didn't have any friends in my personal life that liked movies as much as me. And I just wanted to reach out to the community and hope that I could connect with people like you that also appreciated film in a way that I did. I would have conversations with my friends about movies, and I would always want the conversation to keep going, and they'd be like, "We're done talking about it now." And I'm like, "No, we barely even scratched the surface." And so, for me now making one, it feels like, you know, I've wanted this for feels like forever, and I'm just very excited to continue and make another one.
Yeah, no, I hope that you continue to do stuff. I love talking about you to people that aren't really as big into film. People when my friends that know my journey, I don't really talk about the YouTube side because I could name 10 YouTubers and they don't know any of them. Just because people weren't watching YouTube at that time. But if I'm like naming a TikToker, I'm like, no, dude, like I'm OG. Like I got into film. I'm 34. So I was like, I got into reviewing movies because of YouTube. So that is again something I talk about often. And they're like, okay, like I get it, like we're done with that. But I'm so excited for your film and for other people to see it. I really want to see how people receive it because I think it's great. I think it's phenomenal. And given that you are a critic, do you have the guilty pleasure of like, or not guilty pleasure, but like, is it like a guilty thing where you'll like go look at reviews? Because I'm in Houston. I know it showed at Fantastic Fest in Austin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Was jealous because I had friends that got to go to that, and I was like, man, y'all don't understand. I've been waiting for this movie for a while. Like we watched, the fundraising, we watched everything for it, and now it's the final product. But did you go and like look at anything? Did you see stuff that you're
Yeah.
excited
No,
about?
definitely. No, I've read many. I think I'm at the point now where I've read enough. And we've got a good Rotten Tomatoes score, and we're in a place where it feels like, okay, all right, cool. It's coming out in 10 days, and I got a sense of how people feel about it. And also, even before we had any reviews, I attended test screenings for the movie, which is those are hard to get through because the way they do a test screening is they just recruit people off the street to come watch a movie. Like they don't even have to like horror movies.
Right.
And it's so it's like the harshest audience you will ever have. And then at the end of a test screening, like in Burbank, California, they fill an 800 seat theater with people, and then they stand in front of these people and they just say like, what didn't you like about it? And it's just like the whole goal of a test screening is just to hear people trash you so that you
Jeez.
can then go back into the edit and maybe like change some things. And so like yeah, if you make a movie you go through it, and that's part of the game, unfortunately, but it's also welcome in some ways because you get to meet people like you, and I've met so many great film enthusiasts, film critics, film journalists, um, film reporters who love movies like I do and are excited about film, and are good writers, and they make good videos, and it's an art form as well, and it's welcome.
Yeah, no, that's I mean that's I didn't know that about the whole the test screenings. I didn't know that's how it works or that you have to sit there and listen to people bash the film.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, um about the film's ending. When it ended, I didn't know where it was going to go. Again, big kudos to you for not being predictable. That's one of my favorite things about the movie. But I never knew what was going to happen with Riley. And I love that anticipation the whole time. Did you ever battle in the writer's room or just overall how you're going to direct things about how it was going to end? Or was it always set to end the way that it did?
Yes, pretty much, honestly. There were a handful of like micro differences in the drafts of the script, but the way it ends now is pretty much how I always wanted it to end. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Because I was like, and then, as you mentioned DVD earlier, I was like, I wonder if there's going to be like an alternate ending. Do people even do those these days? Like, so I
Yeah, I
was,
remember like back in the day, you get like a DVD of like the movie. I remember the movie Godsend with Robert De Niro and Greg Kinnear had like a million alternate endings, and I was like, how many did they shoot?
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
No, I mean like no, this is the ending for me, the definitive ending of the movie.
Got it. Well, this is just it's so awesome. It's one of those things where I wish there's some films I watch and I'm like, man, I wish I could have saw this with someone for the first time. Like I have to watch it obviously by myself, but now I want to go back and watch it with someone else and see their opinions on it. What is next for you? Because this has been a long time coming. I've been on this roller coaster with you, and it's such a like a blessing to see it actually come to fruition because it's been cool to watch, crazy cool to watch. And what can we expect next from you?
The goal is keep making movies. I've got about 6 or 7 spec scripts I've written that I'm pretty proud of. I've been pitching pretty heavily on a few of them all over town in Hollywood. And there's one that seems to be moving close to maybe happening, and I'm really, really hoping I can announce that soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. You couldn't have picked a better studio to have this at. I think these type of films thrive at places like Neon or A24 or whatnot. So thank you so much for your time. And I will definitely be looking out for what you do next.
Thank you. It was great to talk to you.
Same. Thank you.